Mesdames et messieurs, bonsoir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What's Up Caribbean. I'm your host, Elizabeth Guerin, and tonight the show will be in English. But first, I will have to speak a little bit of Creole. I can tell you right now that our guest will be Commissioner Jeffrey Watson from the District 5 in Miami. Donc, mesdames et messieurs, jodi a invité nous c'est commissionnaire ça, comme nous dit nous commissionnaire Watson, qui non district côté que gagne en pile haïtien. Et dernièrement, il fait yon 2 PSA pour encourager moun prendre vaccin et contre Covid, qui sont très bonnes initiatives parce que de plus en plus, on a réalisé que en pile moun de communauté noire, yo peuvent vaccin. Donc, il a fait 2 PSA et avec des Haïtiens tout. Donc, nous pas demander qui ça le connaît de communauté nous, qui gens que l'oué et communauté haïtienne qui ça l'a réglé. En fait, nous allons faire conversation avec lui pour nous apprendre découvrir qui est-ce que lié et surtout nous allons demander s'il a run again dans la prochaine élection parce que position que lié kounya son position était non mêlée. Mais s'il voulait rester là-dedans, il faut l'entrer dans la course là. Donc, nous allons parler de tout ça avec lui à Soya. Moi, demandez-nous pour nous installer tête nous confortablement, quel que soit côté nous hier. Mais rappelez-nous que si nous regardons la télévision là, nous là et que nous voulons sortir, nous sommes capables de continuer à regarder le show sous téléphone nous. C'est très simple. Island TV a une app. Nous download li sous téléphone nous et puis nous regarder Island TV live en direct. Apprendre tout le monde ça pour yo ka suivre nous. N'a retourner dans un moment. We'll be right back. Commissioner Jeffrey Watson, thank you for accepting my invitation here at Island TV.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate it.
Voila, I was scared that you would say no, and we want to know stuff about you.
Okay, tell me what you want to know.
Apparently, you've been doing a good job. We saw your advertising to convince people to have the vaccine, so that's one thing. And about the rest, you will tell us what we don't know, things that you never said on the air before. I want a confidence.
Oh boy.
That
should be exciting.
That should be. But for now, let's talk about you. You are commissioner in the District 5.
City of Miami.
City of Miami, of course. You
Yes.
replaced Keon Aderman.
So they say.
Why did they choose you?
I was chosen amongst the commissioners on a 3-to-1 vote. I was chosen, and who supported me was Commissioner Joe Carollo, Commissioner Manolo Reyes, and Commissioner Ken Russell. So they supported me. They thought I had probably the most experience. Some say what it takes. Some say I take whatever makes sense and make it out of something that's better. And so, given those considerations, I was selected to fill out the remainder of the term of the former commissioner.
Will you be a candidate for the second term?
It's possible.
Good.
Yeah, it's possible.
Good.
Everything at this point is possible.
I should ask your wife that question. Are you as cool as you look like? I don't know. Tell me.
Look, the important part about any service is being able to connect with people.
Absolutely.
And try not to fool them. Most people, even if they don't understand your language, even if they don't speak your language, even if you try to tell them that you're something that you're not, most people will come to conclude on their own, and they'll have a feeling about you that makes them believe that they can do something better or they can be served better than they're currently being served. And so if you try to now, if I take the experience that I have and use it to the advantage of helping my community, then I'm doing the right thing.
How is your contact with the Haitian community?
My contact with the Haitian community now is better than it has been.
Why is that?
Well, because now I'm more engaged on a day-to-day basis with the Haitian community. My history with the Haitian community is probably better than most.
Really?
Yeah. When
Tell us about it.
When Haitians started coming to the United States back in the 70s, they came to my church, Friendship Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay.
At that time, my pastor, Reverend J. Jenkins, he took in Haitians straight from being picked up. He took in Haitians, he brought them to our church. He went downtown to Richards. He went around to Winn-Dixie. We were a feeding and clothing repos for those that were coming in. They slept at our church. That happened way before the Catholic Diocese decided from New York, wait a minute, the Baptist ministers are getting together, they're doing something, you're down there. And then we got Father John Juice who came in.
Oh,
okay?
So you
But
knew Father John Juice as
Oh,
well?
most definitely, most definitely. So way before they got involved, the Baptist ministers, and led by my pastor, took care of people who were coming to the United States. Yes.
So besides being a Baptist, what is your political background?
Ooh, besides being a Baptist, my political background, I've always been a Democrat.
Were you born in Florida
Miami.
or Miami?
Miami.
Wow, okay, so you're a native.
I'm a native.
I love it.
I'm a native. Yes, I'm a native son.
Cool.
Born of Miami. In a number
Grew
of
up
different
in
neighborhoods.
Miami, you never lived in another state?
Grew up in a number of different neighborhoods. I did. I live in Washington, D.C.
Uh-huh.
That's
where you learned to be a politician, or?
No, I learned to be a good government official right here in the city of Miami.
Okay.
I learned the art of politics here in the city of Miami. I
The art
perfected.
of politics. You're putting it like it's a beautiful
Of course
art.
it is. Of course
it can
it
be
is.
so dirty sometimes.
It can be what it is.
It is.
You can make it dirty.
And you're still not scared of it.
Well, you can make it dirty. I look forward to that. Well, no. You can make it dirty, or you can discuss the debate about people's future and let it be what it is, right?
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, I spent off and on. My training is in accounting and finance. I spent a vast majority of my career in government service.
Okay.
Very short in public service. And so I've always been...
So just after school, when you studied to be an accountant?
Just after school, I worked for Coopers and Lybrand.
Okay.
And from there, I went to Arthur Anderson.
Okay.
Right? That's where I spent my professional career. And then right around 85, I changed over and started working in the city of Miami.
And when was your first step into politics?
My first step into politics was I was 17 years old when I joined the College Young Democrats.
3 days ago?
Pretty much, about last week.
Last week, yeah.
And then from there, I made a big leap
Yeah.
into state politics. I was the first African-American statewide president of the Young Democrats.
Okay.
I was treasurer of Democrats of America when I met Al Gore.
Oh, so you met Al Gore.
I worked with Al
You
Gore.
worked with him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have
When
a
he
lot
ran
of
for president.
experience.
Yeah.
What is your best souvenir from that period?
My best souvenir from the period of Al Gore, probably a picture with him and his dad on their farm in Tennessee. My best memory was the day before he dropped out of the race in '84. We ran Central Park.
What was that? What was why?
Why did he drop out?
No. Why was it a best memory of him?
Well, I was in my.
What did he say?
I was in my room, and we were waiting for election night to come about. It was the day, and I got a call, and someone said, "Well, do you want to run with the senator?" And I said, "Yes, I'll run." And so I waited for the car, and we went over to Central Park, and I thought I was in better shape than I was. About a quarter of the way into the run, I almost fell out And they had to put me in the car for me to make the distance of the run. Central Park is a little bit bigger than I thought it was, right?
I love that.
A little bit bigger than I thought it was. And so we traveled back, and he asked me, he said, well, what do you think I should do? I said, what do you mean? You think I should go on the ticket? I said, absolutely not. He said, why not? I said, because I don't think that, one, he has a chance of winning. And two, I think you need to kind of toil the sands for a new day and a better day and a different time. He said, man, it's crazy. I said, well, why did you get into this race in the first place? He said, I got in the race because people thought that climate change was an important issue. I said, Senator, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if you think in my community they're concerned about what's going to happen 70 years from now, you got nothing coming. We're trying to figure out how to eat tonight, tomorrow morning. Climate change is not a priority issue in many of our households.
And what was his answer?
He didn't have
a strong statement like this one.
He said, that's interesting. It was good to know for the future.
And do you think he really understood the message, or?
I think it's part and parcel about people around you and helping you understand the message. I think he did. What I learned traveling with my son when he was going on recruiting trips, depending on where you are in this country, things can be different. I remember going and driving down the back roads of West Virginia. We were headed to West Virginia, and I heard a Biggie song about a gat, right? Well, a gat in New York is different than what a gat is in the woods in rural Virginia. Because in rural Virginia, they will use guns to feed themselves. In urban America, people use guns to hurt each other. And so clearly, there's a lot of things that happen across our country. And people see things differently because they have different perspectives depending on where they're from.
I'm going to make a big jump right now. We're going
Leap.
to talk about Biden.
Leap forward. Weak.
What was that?
You say you're going to talk about Biden. I said he's weak.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure that I really got it. That's what you really think of him.
I mean, look, he's used his experience. There's a reason he lost 3 times. You realize that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I
I'm not
supported
going to
him.
say it because
I supported
like
him the first
but-
time he ran.
So you did not support him last
I
time?
did. Well, last time I supported him.
Of
Yeah.
course.
It was a matter of course.
But you think he's really weak?
Well, I mean,
You don't think he's doing a good job right now?
I don't think, look, in this area, in this day and age of bipartisanship the way it is, I'm not so sure that he is governing from the right angle, right?
What would be the right angle?
Well, what would be the angle? Right angle would be the best angle, right?
Okay.
And he is being drawn by a perspective that's not necessarily an overall perspective or a mass perspective. Well, the whole issue of anti-business is not.
You think he's an anti-business?
Well, he's not anti-business, but a vast majority of supporters are anti-business.
Do you think that we have two sides of the Democrats right now, the extremist and the moderate like him?
Well, I mean, I
Do you
won't
think
say
we are
extreme.
divided?
I won't say extreme. There's an activist. There's an activist part in the party that does not allow for a resolution that captures us all, right? And clearly, some things don't work. When you take the advent of believing that the tech companies should be broken up, well, that sounds good to the people who make money when they're broken up. But for the most part, our companies probably need an opportunity to be ahead in some instance in order to invest in what they do, right? If you don't have that, it makes it very difficult because, look, our greatest investment are in our kids, all of us. I don't care who you are, in what part of the economic ladder you're on. Your greatest investment and achievement is by way of your kids. If you don't have a chance to invest in them, then they can't be the best that they need to be, because there's always a change in what's coming forward. What's coming next is a different economy. This pandemic has caused it to come sooner than later. But at the end of the day, think about it, right? If you don't have an opportunity to partake in a tech economy, for example, if you're not prepared before it gets there, then you won't be able to participate in it. And what happens then? What happens then? There's 140,000 jobs a year in science, technology, and math. And we have to go overseas to get people to take those jobs because our kids are not being prepared the way they should for that sector of the economy. Doesn't mean they can't be teachers, can't be artists, doesn't mean that. What it means is we now are not being prepared. And so we're not being prepared in comparison is not necessarily a good answer. Are we being prepared because if you're not, then all's lost. And so that's our greatest investment.
Pop-up question. Are you a big fan of AOC?
Of who?
AOC.
No.
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 You don't like her?
I don't know her. What I don't like is what I hear
like
coming
the
from
Democratic Party who is a leader for you right now?
her. Not many. There's not many.
Just name one.
I don't pay much attention to her. Who?
Nancy Pelosi?
She needs this time for somebody different.
Wow, okay. Just name someone that you admire that you think is doing a good job in the Democratic Party right now.
Yeah. Look, it's difficult for me. Let me tell you why it's difficult for me.
You will tell me in a moment because we will take a short break right now.
I'm Cindy. I'm studying to become an English teacher, and I love Island TV. Why? Because we are the Caribbean. We are Island TV. We need to reveal our fundamental contributions in America. We need Island TV to reveal our different beautiful Caribbean cultures for the world to respect and understand us better. Grow your business while supporting the only Caribbean television station in Florida. Advertise with Island TV.
Mesdames et messieurs, je rappelle nous que invité nous aujourd'hui, c'est le commissionnaire Jeffrey Watson dans le district 5 dans Miami. Et nous avons fait une belle conversation là, juste avant la pause là, moi été demandé qui est-ce que le remet dans le Parti démocrate là, parce qu'apparemment il n'est pas un fanatique de Biden, il n'est pas un fanatique de AOC. So nous allons regarder qui est-ce que le remet. So who do you love in the Democratic Party? I want to know.
So you want me
to name someone. I'm trying to.
I don't know.
I'm trying to understand you better.
I don't know that.
As a Democrat.
Well, here's what I'll look at it from this perspective. If you go about believing that the government will create more jobs than the private sector, then that's a big mistake. Very little dollars.
You said that.
Well, very little dollars in our budget, right? Will go to new programs. So at the end of the day, if you now take it upon yourself to drive out business that profess, we don't know if that's the case, profess to want to put 50,000 jobs in New York City, right? If that's the stance you take as an activist politician, then who do you go to? Because those 50,000 jobs probably lead to about an additional maybe 100,000 that feed off of those 50. So you just now have driven out in a city where you have high taxes, in a city where everybody now is trying to find somewhere else to go besides New York. You've just driven out 50,000. And now the ancillary part of that now doesn't have an opportunity. So the very people, because I know what we want, but where we are may be different.
How to do it.
The very people who need that sort of opportunity, then they lose out, because who's going to do it? The state of New York so create 50,000 jobs, they don't have the ability to do it. So what do those people do? What do you tell them?
So do you think there's nobody thinking the same way you are thinking right now
I'm
that
not,
could try to?
I'm not Einstein, right? But clearly, no, I'm not Einstein. Nowhere close, right? I won't make nobody make a mistake about that, right? But clearly, I just look at some of these issues in a different way. And I always contend that, we have 100 problems, 1,000 solutions, we keep using the same 500. All right? If you go to Liberty Square in the community room, you'll see a display that's been there 3 years now. Papers from 80 years ago talking about the same issues in our community that we're talking about today.
Okay, so what's the problem? We're not educated enough? The school system? We're lazy? What can cause this problem?
The last thing we are is people lazy. No one in my district is lazy.
Oh, I love that.
No one.
You want to make sure that they vote for him.
No, they're not. I mean, they get up and go to work. They get up and go to work every day. Matter of fact, they may hold 1, 2, 3 jobs in order to survive. Where we should be is preparing them in order to thrive. That's the difference, right? Because now it's over and above. We've created an issue in this town with housing. That's a problem, right? And in order to now have a quality house or home, then you have to spend a whole lot more money than you normally would have to or should have to. And so that's been created by, bad policy, for lack of a better description. And you also realize that we're in a very confined spot where there's not much up, it's always spread out. And at the end of the day, I always say broken clock is right 2 times a day, right? And if it is, then you may not be in favor now. It may not be that time now, but that time will come, that clock will be right. And so you have that sort of dynamics that's going on in our neighborhoods. We want strong neighborhoods. That's what we want. We don't want a bunch of high rises all over the place, okay? We want strong neighborhoods. And so people who are fighting for strong neighborhoods should continue to do so, and they should be a part of them.
Unfortunately, we have to take a short break again. We'll be back. Mesdames et messieurs, nous allons regarder un PSA que le commissionnaire Watson a créé pour le district Pali. Il est vraiment intéressant de suivre.
Listen, here's the facts. COVID-19 is real. I know what we need to do. I know the health disparities in our community, the Black community, is fairly high.
We must put trust, confidence, and faith in those that are trained to lead, guide, and to direct us whenever there is a health disparity in our community, in our society, such as the corona-19.
Now, if you don't trust the vaccine, I encourage you to do your research. Speak to your physician, speak to your healthcare professional, speak to your pastor. Once you decide to get it, reach out to the city of Miami, because we're trying to get the vaccine to the populations that need it most.
Our president has taken the vaccine. Our vice president, she has taken the vaccine. Many of our first responders have also taken the vaccine. I want to encourage you, do your part, get vaccinated, and let's defeat COVID-19.
We're not going to stop the pandemic, but what we can do is help you protect yourself and protect your loved ones. Now is the time. So think a moment and think about yourself. talk to the ones who you trust, and then call the city of Miami so that we can get to you and give you an opportunity to do what's necessary.
Mesdames et messieurs, Island TV fait beaucoup d'efforts à agrandir son réseau et vous offrir une programmation de qualité. Regardez Island TV partout où vous êtes. Téléchargez notre application gratuite sur votre téléphone. Pour nous contacter, écrivez-nous à islandtv.tv ou appelez-nous au 1-888-816-7174.
Je rappelle nous que l'invité nous aujourd'hui, c'est le commissioner Watson qui est dans le district 5 dans Miami. Et il y a une possibilité que lui run again as a candidate. He said it's possible, so we'll see. So let me ask you this. What have you done since you've been in this position?
When I got appointed, we were in the middle, I want to say maybe in the middle of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. The pandemic caused a lot of confusion, disarray for a lot of people, everybody. And so, we had just gotten some money in order to probably try to help alleviate fears and anxieties that people were having around what was going on and not being able to go to the grocery store and so on and so forth. And so we handed out probably about $2 million a piece, about $2 million a piece, depending on the district, both gift cards, the food program, we did that. So that was done over the course of the holidays. And then immediately, when January came around, we first, through our own accord, our own city, we paid for it, went out and we got vaccines so that people could be vaccinated. And we reached out. I did my own commercials in some instances in order to get to all of the communities, because most of the communities are not listening to the media the same way. In some communities, they listen to different stations. Elderly people listen to different stations. They get word of mouth. And so a program was crafted whereby people who were homebound, we went to them, right? Mm-hmm. And then we started going on the line. So it was established by the federal government and who could be vaccinated. And they wanted to do, the first wave of people were those who had conditions that allowed them to be more vulnerable. And so that's how we decided to do that.
So do you know if your campaign was successful? Did you have a lot of people? Could you convince a lot of people to get their vaccine?
We were able, I believe, to convince a lot of people to get vaccinated. Or at least, look, I know the history African Americans have had with vaccinations.
Absolutely. Okay? I want to hear you about this. But let me tell you something before. I've met a doctor 2 months ago, and he said something that really shocked me. I was really upset when he said it, and I'm thinking now that he might be right. He said, in December 2021, the COVID will be a black problem because only black people refuse. Not only, but the majority of the black population, they refuse the vaccine. What is your opinion about it?
Well,
that's why it's so important for your message.
I think that a lot of people, look, there were so many theories and misconceptions and bad information out there that caused people to not have the vaccine. So theories. Well, black people won't get affected because we're dark-skinned. It's an experimental drug, so I don't want to have 5 fingers later.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, we heard
and so like a lot of things were being said.
And Haitians, you know what Haitians are saying?
Haitians, a lot are taking all kind of remedies.
Okay, you're good.
And soups.
You know your
and
community.
Juices,
okay.
And
they believe in tea. Okay. With the tea, nothing can happen to them.
Tea, nothing can happen to you.
You've done your homework. If you can answer, that was a test. Well, you've done your homework. Hey. Haitians are the tea. No. Medicine, remedies, so they don't need the vaccine.
Let me tell you, I had more teas and soups and stuff.
That was a great test.
let me tell you, I'm like, okay.
You are well informed.
Delivered to the
Okay.
hospital. Delivered to the hospital. Tea. They said, oh, we got somebody down there with some tea. I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean, it's not that we are against the tea. It's always good to have a good tea, but thinking that a tea can fight the
Your
COVID,
tea?
this is crazy.
Look, your tea is different than Bahamian tea. Bahamian tea, I got some tea. I had some
Jamaican tea.
Jamaican tea. And look, my dad used to, this was a joke in the house. My dad said, well, I never get colds. Okay, you never get colds. How you never get colds? Never get colds because you take raw egg and onions
Jesus.
and some pepper and drink it.
Oh my God.
Well, if you
He
drink
made
that,
you drink that.
if you drink that, nobody will get near you. You never get a cold.
Exactly.
You drink that and breathe on somebody, they stay for 5 feet away. That's social distancing last time, right?
We should do that maybe for a coffee,
Oh,
you know? With onion, eggs, and everybody will run.
Like, what's that we smell? Okay, you stay over there, right? Look, the Tuskegee experiment and Henrietta Vaccs caused African Americans to be skeptical of a vaccine that was deemed to be experimental. They went through an emergency procedure, but they've been working from SARS for the last 18 years. So although they didn't have something very specifically for COVID, they had variations of what could happen. And so it was under an experimental procedure at the FDA that they came about with the vaccines, right? So that's one. To say that people who were dark was not going to get COVID, there's a whole lot of dead dark people from COVID, right?
Yeah. Dying from COVID.
I can't deal with people.
Our producer's father died from
I'm sorry, I
COVID,
apologize.
And he's Asian, and he was black too. So
Yeah.
this is one example. And we have so many people.
I can't argue with people.
We lost a camera guy too here
Yeah.
at Island TV.
And so
He was not white.
Yeah.
So
I can't argue with people's cultural
Belief.
predilections, right? But my point in us being vaccinated was very simple. Talk to your spiritual leader and talk to your doctor. You're going to believe them and what they say quicker than, Joe politician. And so that's what you should do. Because at the end of the day, I had someone who was 70 who said to me, Commissioner, I took my vaccination. Yeah, why? Because I feel like if I can take my vaccination and get 10 years, it's better than me getting COVID and getting another 10 days.
common sense.
Well, I don't want to say people don't have common sense who don't take it. I just want to make sure you talk to the right people.
You've
Okay?
been very careful.
I'm not calling nobody. Look, if you want to take it, it's fine. I wear my mask. I wear mine because I almost died. So
You had COVID.
yes.
Tell us about your experience. For how long you've been in the ICU? You had it badly
I had COVID. I had COVID. I was on a meeting. The chief called me during the course of the day and said, Commissioner, you look good. I said, you'll be all right. I think I'll be all right. And after the meeting was over, I think I slept almost, seemed like 24 hours. I got up the next day because I thought it was 11 p.m. at night. It was 11 a.m. the next day. I called him and I said, Chief, I need your help. And in about 10 minutes, he was at my house. His medical director came in and said, Commissioner, I have 6 questions for you. And I said, okay. When I got to question 2, he said, Commissioner, I want to stop you right now. I've seen 721 cases of this, and I'm telling you, you have it in a bad way. So here's what I can say to you. We can go now to the hospital, or you can stay here. If you stay here, I may not be able to help you by the end of the weekend. So if you're going to go, we need to go right now. And in the same breath, I said, well, let's go. I'm going with you. And I was off and I was in the hospital. I got there and nothing was working. And I didn't know what was happening.
Nothing was working?
Well, they were trying a couple of things that was not working. And I wasn't sure what exactly was going on. Come to find out, day 2, and when they moved me to ICU, I had COVID, I had pneumonia, both lungs.
Because you almost died.
I had a 79 blood oxygen level. I had a failed respiratory system. And so the doctor decided that he would not put me on a respirator. He said, if I put you on a respirator, you had a 17% chance of living. So let's continue to work. What they found out from early on is the respirator really was not helping people, right? And so he tried to figure out what to do. Until then, he was trying to get my blood oxygen levels up. It should be above 95. I was at 79. Right? And so that Monday morning when I was in intensive care, and I had about 12 guys standing in my room, I realized that maybe that whatever he was trying to do wasn't working. Okay? And
So how come you survived?
because the Lord
Was it-
decided I need to be here to do some more work.
Oh, I love that.
You say it's your time yet.
Yeah, because it's true. Wow.
That's the only thing I can think of.
So you stayed sick for how long?
I was in for 11 days.
11 days.
Yeah.
But do you still feel the
There's some
consequences
things.
of the
Some.
COVID?
Not with others. Some people have varying degrees of things. It exacerbated something else, but everybody I'm told has additional things that come about. And so I have, but nothing
Major.
I don't have the
You're lucky.
smell, taste. Or,
So it must
I
be
am.
God for real.
I am. Yeah, no,
because
I
the
don't.
majority of them, they
No, I
have-
don't say that tongue in cheek. That's real.
Wow.
Just like COVID's real. I don't say that tongue in cheek. I mean,
But some people will say that they see you're looking good, sitting, talking, and doing your job. If you survived COVID, they will all survive, and that will be for them an excuse not to take the vaccine. I heard that many times. It's like, oh, my cousin had it and he's fine right now, so I'll be fine too, I won't die. What would you tell these people? Talk directly to them.
don't be crazy. Okay, it's real. You don't want to get sick. You don't want to take the chance of not being able to make it through or make it. I had 40 milliliters of oxygen being pumped up in my brain per
Wow.
second, right? It finally came down to 5, but 40 milliliters. I had remdesivir, right? I had steroids constantly, and I had prayer from a pastor that I know, and from a father that I know, and a lot of people who gave me love that I even don't know, right? And so why you want to take the chance? Why you want to take the chance crossing the street when all the cars going 100 miles an hour, when you can walk 20 yards down the street and wait for the light? Why you want to take the chance? So it's real, and you should do whatever you can do to protect yourself, protect the people you love. That's what you should do. There's no compromising on that.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will watch the second PSA created by Commissioner Jeffrey Watson from the District 5 in Miami.
Good morning. I'm Jeffrey Watson, your City of Miami District 5 Commissioner, and I'm coming to you, my Haitian community, with a very important message and testimony. I caught COVID-19. It's real. I was not protected. And therefore I say to you, talk to your religious leaders, talk to your medical professionals, talk to people you trust, because it is important that you protect yourself and protect your family.
M'encourage ou, fais vacciner ou pour capable protéger tête ou, protéger famille ou, et protéger tout le monde qui a servi et tout le monde qui est koto. Bon Dieu va content et gloire va éclater, pas seulement aujourd'hui, mais demain et pour l'éternité.
Comme une infirmière qui travaille à l'hôpital, moi ouais sa maladie COVID-19 là qu'a fait yon moun, comment qu'a détruit une famille. Mais vaccin yo là, yo disponible pour nous. So m'a encourager nous pour nous prendre vaccin. Chercher information, parler avec docteur qui c'est un nurse practitioner ou bien un docteur que vous gagnez pour bon conseil et pour bonne information qui est nécessaire pour capable faire une décision pour prendre un vaccin.
C'est Dr. Rudolph Moïse. M'a servi communauté haïtienne dans la communauté pendant presque 40 ans. En décembre, je prends maladie Covid là. J'ai 3 semaines j'étais là avec fièvre, avec frisson, avec tous, tout bail ça. Et mon cher, après 3 mois, j'ai décidé que bail ça pas jamais encore, j'ai décidé pour prendre vaccin là, pour protéger moi, pour ne pas prendre maladie ça encore. Donc on recommander nous-mêmes pour faire même bail là, tant pis prendre vaccin là pour en santé, pour protéger tête nous, avec protéger famille nous.
Et l'on prend vaccin coronavirus là, ou des têtes ou des madame ak mari ou des maman ak papa ou des petits tout. L'on prend tout ou de tout monde qui dans environnement yo pour yo pas prendre maladie coronavirus là. Moi-même moi prendre. Moi gon grand monde là kay moi qui les tonton désirable. M'a mené là le prend vaccin coronavirus là. Laisse ça nous protéger non simplement tête nous, mais nous protéger tout le monde qui dans l'environnement nous. Sou gon grand monde là kay yo maintenant là le prend vaccin coronavirus là. C'était Jean-Lionel Rosier. Merci.
There are a number of sites that exist that you can take the opportunity to get the vaccination. And it is important for you to protect yourself and your family at this time.
Commissioner Watson, when will you know if you will be a candidate or not for the upcoming elections?
Sooner than later, probably towards the end of the month.
Why?
There's work to be done. Your work will speak for what you do. Regardless of what people might say about you, your work will speak for what you can do. There are a number of people in the race at this moment.
And none of them is scaring you?
None of them what?
Is scaring you?
Scaring me?
Mm-hmm. You don't know that word?
I don't know about scaring me. I mean, look.
As a candidate?
The process itself sometimes is more than it should be. We all know that, right? The process of electioneering can be more than it should be. But, you know, if you prepare yourself well and do all that you can do, that's all you can expect. Yeah?
So if you are a candidate, what will you do? What are your plans for your district?
If I return to this job,
yes.
It's going to be great. Right? Communities will be uplifted. Neighborhoods will be, everything saved, will be strengthened. Things that have not been done before will be done.
Strengthened? Yeah. Like what?
Well, strengthened. Take, for example, you know, people talk about home ownership, and people say to me, you talk about home ownership, there's only 20% of Haitian Americans and Haitians in Little Haiti that own. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's a misnomer because people would think it's a majority. It's not. So how do you make it better? How do you make it stable? By ensuring that people, one, have an opportunity to access new product, but also have an opportunity to strengthen their existing homes. There are people, our mothers and fathers, who worked many years on the beach and other places. They're now not have upward but downward trending incomes. They can't go to the bank and borrow money for a lot of reasons, right? So you want to make sure that when you have some programs that exist, you can help them fix their roofs, fix their plumbing, so they can stay where they want to stay. Invariably, they want to stay where they've been for the last 30 years.
So you're going to strengthen the community?
Strengthen neighborhoods.
And what else? Other plans?
You're going to increase our visibility of our culture in individual neighborhoods so that we understand what that is, a lot of people don't, and how we fit into this space. One of the things that happens is that we fit in this space, we were the origins of this city of Miami. We just celebrated an anniversary, 125 years. The vast majority of the incorporators were Bahamian Americans and African Americans, right? Mm-hmm. We incorporated the city. And as a result of that, we now have to show that we belong in this space, because a lot of people may not believe that. A lot of people that come here on a daily basis, they have no idea of what Little Haiti is or what Liberty City is or what Overtown is, but we created this. We make this place a dynamic place, not people coming from South America, not people coming from other places, but we who are here, Caribbean diaspora, right, and people from the South, we created what you see here. And we will only continue to do better and make it better. That's what I intend to try to do. An opportunity to help with various components in different neighborhoods and different communities. But we have to also prepare ourselves, because there is going to be a change. Okay, there's going to be change, and I suspect that the tech community will be a part of our economy going forward. And so I'm always legislating for the future, not for me, but for the future. And so our kids must be prepared to participate in that economy that's going to come and get bigger. It's going to get bigger. I had a friend of mine's company just went public in a $3 billion IPO on Friday, right?
Wow.
So it's going to get bigger. But we also need to be prepared so that our kids can participate. Because if they can't participate, then they'll have no hope.
So please keep us posted about your upcoming decision.
Most definitely.
And I welcome you again in Island TV. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you for this wonderful conversation. And this especially for these two PSA that are doing a great job in our community. Thank you so much. See
Thank
you
you.
soon.
Appreciate it.
Mesdames et messieurs, rendez-vous c'est pour semaine prochaine, même l'heure. Bonsoir.